They said a single tear rolling down her cheek was the only part of her body still allowed to move. And even that, the tribe didn't want to see. No one remembered the day Ayanna stopped walking more clearly than Ayanna herself. Before that day, she was the girl who outran the wind, racing the horses across the dry Arizona plains, laughter echoing like thunder. But the fall changed everything. A shattered spine, a healer with no answers. A future that suddenly became still, confined to a buffalo skin bed beneath the stares of pity, and worse, shame. They cannot carry the weak, she once overheard the council elder say. A burden slows the tribe. She must be left with the land. Her own mother didn't stop them. Her brother didn't look back. And that was how Ayanna became a ghost long before death could claim her. For days, she lay beneath the open sky, her blanket torn, her body half covered in dust. Coyotes watched from a distance. Hunger gnawed her ribs. She prayed for the Great Spirit to take her swiftly. But life, stubborn as it was, clung to her like a sacred promise. On the fourth night, when the stars seemed like icy embers scattered across the heavens, hooves approached. She tried to call out, but her voice was only a rasp lost on the wind. Daniel Hayes was a quiet rancher who rarely spoke to anyone but his horses. People in town called him strange, too gentle for the world he lived in. He carried the kind of silence that comes from loving someone and losing them too soon. His wife, gone in childbirth. His heart, buried with her. He noticed everything others overlooked. So when his lantern light caught the faint rise and fall of Ayanna's chest, he didn't hesitate. He lifted her fragile body as if it weighed nothing. "You're safe now," he whispered, though he wasn't sure she could hear. Days blurred into each other after that. Daniel tended to her wounds, cooked broth she could swallow, and sat beside her through long, sleepless nights. Her legs remained still, lifeless, but her eyes held a fire that refused to die. Ayanna didn't speak his language, not fully. He didn't speak hers, but kindness translated every unspoken word. When winter frost crept over the ranch windows, Ayanna found her first smile again, weak, but real. Daniel saw it, and felt something inside him thaw. But the world outside their quiet cabin wasn't kind. Rumors spread like dust storms. A savage woman on Hayes' land. He's protecting someone cast out by her own kind. He's cursed himself. One afternoon, men from the reservation came, led by Ayanna's own brother, Kelly, his face hard like carved stone. "She is not yours," he snapped. "Her life ended when she could no longer walk. Give her back to the land." Daniel stepped between them, jaw tightening. No one decides her worth but her. The standoff felt like steel drawn beneath the sun. Then Kelly spat at the ground, disgust, rejection, shame. He left without his sister. Ayanna trembled, not from fear, but from the wound family had carved into her soul. Healing wasn't just learning to live again. It was believing she deserved to. One dawn, Daniel found her struggling, hands clawing the dirt, sweat dripping as she tried to move her legs. He rushed to her. Her voice cracked through tears. "I am not useless." "No," he said softly, lifting her into his arms. "You're strong, stronger than those who walked away." Months passed. Daniel built rails in the barn so she could pull herself up. Together they celebrated every small victory, one breath higher, 1 inch forward. The horses would stand nearby, ears perked, as if cheering their fragile rider in training. And then, one golden morning, it happened. Her right foot twitched, not much, but enough to make Daniel freeze. Ayanna gasped. The world seemed to stop. "See," he whispered, "you're not finished yet." Word traveled, first through curious whispers, then through uneasy admiration. People came, those forgotten by their own, the wounded, the cast out, hoping for the strength Ayanna carried silently in her chest. She spoke to them of pain, but also of hope. "I was thrown away, so I learned to rise," she told them. "With or without my legs." Daniel watched her with pride blooming where grief once lived. Sometimes, miracles didn't come all at once. Sometimes, they grew. One evening, beneath a blood-orange sky, Ayanna and Daniel sat by the fire. She looked at him, eyes reflecting flames and something deeper. "You saved me," she murmured. He shook his head gently. "No, I only found you. You saved yourself." She reached for his hand, a movement she never thought she'd make again. For the first time in years, she felt like more than a burden. She felt belonged. The tribe that cast her away would one day speak her name with reverence, the woman who defied fate. But she didn't wait for their approval. She had already found her place. Her courage, Her life, abandoned by those who should have protected her. Ayanna discovered family where no one expected. In the quiet rancher with the broken heart, he found love not in perfection, but in resilience. Together, they rewrote a story that had nearly ended at the edge of the desert. Ayanna's legs might still tremble, might still stumble, but her spirit ran wild again. And this time, no one could cast her out.